Hey guys, my name's Brian Messick, and I'm one of the stars of Seven Lamb's newest series, Movie Night. This audio sitcom centers on six friends who get together every Friday night to hang out and watch a movie. Coincidentally, the movie they choose to watch coincides with the issues and situations they're facing in their everyday lives. If you're a fan of comedy or film, or both, then visit sevenlamb.com or search for Movie Night wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Will There Be Cake? I am Robert Lamb. With me, as always, Amber Simpson.
Me.
See, I don't say I'm the host. I have said that, but I didn't say it this time.
What did you say?
I am Robert Lamb.
Oh, he's not the host.
I am the host. I'm the host today.
Host with the most.
She's the co-host.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyways, Amber Simpson, today is
such an exciting day.
I mean, it's 9/11.
It's 9/11.
So what are we celebrating?
We
Amber
are
Simpson?
celebrating Patriot Day, not Patriots Day, to be confused with the Boston Marathon bombing movie or the 1775 Battle of Lexington and Concord in the American Revolutionary War.
Or the New England Patriots.
Or the New England Patriots. We are celebrating, well... We're not celebrating.
We're acknowledging.
It's official day of remembrance for the tragic events that happened on 9/11. That's today.
This is going to be a tricky one to talk about.
This is a tricky one to talk. I mean, it happened in 2001. That was 19 years. Do you remember, where you were?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was at school.
That's like the biggest conversation. Grade. Do you remember where you were on 9/11?
You were in 9th grade too, right?
I was in I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is why I always think you're 1 year younger than me.
I know. I was the oldest kid. Adam and I were having this. I was the oldest kid in class. He was the youngest kid in class. You're probably like in the middle.
Yeah, I was in the middle.
You're April, yeah. Where were you?
I was 9th grade.
In class?
I was at yes, I was. I want to say I was in English class at the time, and then some teacher actually came up to the door, told our teacher, which I forget his name, but he was like this bearded teacher, and he was like, "What? No way." So he was like, "Guys, hold on." So he like turns on like the TV in the classroom and stuff, and then we watched it
on TV,
and we were like talking about it. And then in the next class I went into, I want to say it was my science class, and she was like crying, and she's like, "I know people who live in New York," and she's like, "I'm scared," and she's like, "I don't know why they haven't like sent everybody home." She's like, "They should send everybody home, and we shouldn't have to come back until so and so, because I want to call everybody, and I can't believe this." And then I remember at lunch everybody talking about it, and this is one thing I specifically remember, and this is why I hate a lot of people. Not seriously, but these two girls were talking at lunch, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's so crazy. Like, what if like more places are going to get hit? They're like, what if they start bombing this? Like, what if they crash a plane into the school or whatever?" I'm like, they are not going to hit the World Trade Centers and then fucking lynch or whatever fucking Northeast High School. Yeah. Like, calm down.
Bunch of school children. I mean, they were young.
I know.
They were young.
So was I.
I remember being worried. I remember being worried, thinking that they
maybe
were
bombing or
not.
something.
Yeah, but not my school. Just like places close to here.
Right.
Like,
well, like we talked about
military bases and stuff like that were close to us. Like,
right.
But yeah, we were young. I remember I was in my Florida geography class, and it was like the strictest teacher I had in grade school ever. So we didn't watch anything, but we did talk about it, and he made us, I don't remember if it was that day or just that week, he made us like write in our journal, like what was going on in our lives at that time or something like that, because he wanted us to be able to look back and whatever.
I did like
and I think I still have it, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's one thing I
loved that class.
I remember, I think it was chemistry, because that was my first period class. And I remember the next day I went in, I think it was the next day or whatever. It was like one of the following days. And she would always have newspapers. She would just get like, I don't know how she did. She would always have like 20 newspapers, and she would just be like, "If you guys want a newspaper, grab a newspaper."
Nice.
And so like sometimes when we had some free time in class, or it was like near the end of the class, she'd be like, "All right, that's it," and then you do whatever you want. And I would get a newspaper and go through it. And you know,
nice.
I was just read whatever. But the front page, I remember like seeing George Bush, seeing the towers, seeing like, then the next day it was like Bush declares war.
I think I actually I saved some of the covers.
And I had some of those.
Yeah.
I think I still have them somewhere.
Yeah,
like the
stashed away somewhere. I remember that because
newspapers.
there's people like out on the road selling papers.
Yeah.
And I remember my sister's boyfriend at the time actually did it, and he made pretty decent money, but you like stood in the middle of the road selling these papers to people.
I'll admit, like, I didn't know much about the World Trade Center.
No,
when I
me
was
neither.
I was
I'm like, I don't know
what
what's
are.
going. I wasn't sad. I was like,
no,
what?
I didn't know. Like, I've heard of them.
Right.
I just didn't know much about them. I didn't know how big they were or anything
Right.
until I saw the pictures and the videos. And then, like, I remember going home that day and just seeing every news channel.
Yeah.
And almost every channel, even like other channels that I would just watch, like TBS and stuff, were just airing like this footage, and it was like showing like like just the debris getting like going down the
just like
city
the
streets and
super,
stuff,
like,
and people running from it. I was like, holy
smoky
shit.
streets,
and that's
yeah.
when I kind of woke up and then like started really reading about it. And
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think like when I think about it, like that's the only other thing in my lifetime that was like so like big and catastrophic and in the news like that, other than what's going on right now, like COVID and all that, and the protests.
Not to get super political, I will say that I think it's like crazy that like people saw the numbers of people dying in like the World Trade Center, and nobody's like going, no, 2,000 people didn't die. But like when there's a pandemic,
Right.
we're like, I don't trust any of the
more
numbers.
people have died
And
from
more
COVID
people,
than 9/11.
and some of the wars we've been at.
Yeah.
So it's like
Oh,
I think more than
exactly.
Vietnam War and
It's
stuff.
fucking crazy.
So it's
People
like,
they're crazy.
Yeah.
No offense if you're crazy.
and if you don't believe in COVID, that's fine. But or like you don't think it's that big of a
How?
deal. But from the numbers, it's just like this is a crazy time.
But that's the thing. People don't think the numbers are real. So
yeah, but even if they're off by even if it's cut in half, it's still
Yeah.
a lot of people.
it's a shit ton of
So I just in general, I just thought that's weird. But I will say, as there is a conspiracy with this is what I want to talk about. There was a conspiracy with 9/11.
Yep.
It's an inside job, and people talk about that stuff. And my take on it is, I don't believe in a lot of things. I've already mentioned that on the podcast. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it really happened. I understand that they're like, well, it wouldn't melt steel beams. It won't do this. It wouldn't do this. But like, you don't really know. Like, just because like
Have
that's
you
not
yourself
supposed to happen.
Flown a plane into a building and test your theory.
Right. And it's that specific building. Like, you don't
Right.
know for a fact because
The tallest
Yeah.
buildings.
and you can say like it shouldn't fall, but that doesn't mean it won't. There's a lot of things that shouldn't happen that just do. And like, just even when you
the
go through all the
Titanic
testing,
was supposed to be the unsinkable ship.
yeah, and it still sank. Those stupid phones that people had in their pockets started exploding.
Yep.
And that's not supposed to happen, but it did.
Shit
It
happens.
just things happen. But I remember, and I was talking to our mutual friend Kyle not too long ago, because we were talking about the conspiracy with COVID.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, like, I can't. I understand that not everything the government tells us is right, or like they're not hiding some things from us. And I'm not saying that every conspiracy out there is false. I'm just saying anytime there's a big event, JFK getting shot, the 9/11, the pandemics, any of that kind of stuff, there's always like a conspiracy. And there's this idea that a lot of people come out, like a lot of scientists and stuff have said, the main reason that they think there's so many conspiracies surrounding big events like that is that it's hard for a lot of people to comprehend
Right.
something crazy like this going on, or something crazy in general, and there not being some main reason for it happening. Like,
Right.
and to my, like,
I mean, there is always a main reason.
There's
for
always
it
a
to happen,
reason.
But it, I mean, I know. I get.
but
what
they
you're
always
saying.
try to figure that it's just always got to be, but it's got to be something extraordinary. It
Right.
can't be something like somebody
Extreme.
just flew a plane into a building. It's
Right.
got to be like something really crazy. And
I don't even remember what the conspiracy. It was the government, or
Well-
it didn't happen. Was actually one of them.
Well, no.
I know it's like
for
the
9/11,
government
they said the government
planned it.
planted
Right.
bombs in there because they wanted to go to war to get
Right.
more oil and stuff,
Exactly.
which I do agree that we went to war primarily for oil,
Right.
but I think that was just what they kind of used to, go over there. I don't think they killed all those people. I don't think it was a real conspiracy, and they're saying it wouldn't melt the steel beams and that the building shouldn't have fallen, and I'm just like, you say that, but also it was a huge plane,
Mm-hmm.
went right into the side at I don't know.
So for those of you who weren't alive or don't know much about 9/11, today would be a good day for you to research it, but I have some facts for you. It was the 4 jet planes that were hijacked by terrorists of Al-Qaeda, and crashed into the New York World Trade Center. That was 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
The Pentagon in
Pentagon.
Arlington, Virginia.
And then a field.
And then a field. Yeah, the 4th plane was the flight. It was the
United 93.
United 93. And it was a total death rate of 2,977
For all
people.
of those.
Yeah, for all.
I know the
of
United
those.
93.
I don't know if that includes like the firefighters and
It might.
police officers and
Like
stuff.
all the first responders, because a lot of them got killed too because that first building fell, and then the second one.
Yeah, and then the second one hit and then it fell.
Yeah. So.
There's a bunch of emergency service people who risked their lives to try and help rescue victims of the attack. 411 lost their lives attempting to fight fires and rescue people.
I went to
411 weren't in the buildings or on the planes. They're just helping.
That's crazy. That other one that crashed, they believe was meant to go to
the D.C.
Capitol building or something
the
like
Capitol building in Washington D.C.
Yeah,
probably
but
the White House or White House.
It might have been going to the White House. It was one of those buildings over there, but it crashed, and they believe that the passengers or whatever.
Right? Did you ever
it.
see that movie United 93?
It's fucking sad as shit.
It was really good. I remember seeing that.
We saw it together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
In Orlando, right? With Ronald
with
Rust.
Ricky and Ronald and all that.
Ronald Rust, who decided to laugh out loud while we were in the theater.
Because him and Graceland were joking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, guys, don't laugh during this movie.
It's a really good movie, though. It's like it's the passengers' attempt to take back control, and it made it crash in a field. So they probably saved some lives.
That's like a scary thing because you don't know. I assume that to get control of the planes, they probably said that they were just going to hijack them and go somewhere. Like that, they probably didn't. They're not going to tell the passengers we're going to go commit suicide and kamikaze into this thing. So for those other passengers, they must have thought they knew something was going to happen. I think they did get calls from family saying something happened.
Yeah, I think in the movie they showed that.
And I think the movie was pretty accurate because a lot of the people who played characters in the movie were actually family members of the people who died. Mm-hmm. They weren't like real big actors or anything. So if they got a call saying the planes that got hijacked went into these buildings, they probably were like, shit, that's going to happen to us. So they had to regain control. And I mean, they probably saved a lot more lives, but they gave theirs, which is sad.
It's so sad. It's a sad day. So it's a day of remembrance. American flags are flown at half-mast to honor and commemorate the lives that are lost. I don't know if they still do. Do they still do that projection thing where they project the? I remember that was a thing in New York for a while. They projected the Twin Towers.
Oh, really?
But I know they still have a little memorial area.
They have the Ground Zero.
Yeah, the Ground Zero.
I went there when they were still working on it. I didn't
really?
get to see. I only saw parts of it because it was all fenced off.
I've been back to New York a few times and I never went.
No,
I don't care. I mean, I feel bad
it's just
for these people, but
it's one of those things. It's just a memorial.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, and I feel that really started a lot of political change. A bunch more people voted. A bunch more people were about going to war after this happened.
Oh, for sure.
So they voted Republican when they wouldn't have.
This might be the longest war we've been in.
Yeah.
It's still kind of ongoing. I mean,
That's true.
We've been over in the Middle East for a long time.
It's crazy.
So the problem was, I think, that when we went over there, we were in Afghanistan where we believed Osama bin Laden and, his cohorts were. Right. We were trying to find them and stuff, which if you ever watch Zero Dark 30 is a pretty good movie about how they tracked down Osama bin Laden. But the problem was, we were also starting to go into other countries like Iraq and
didn't we go in the wrong country or something like that?
I mean, we were in several countries over there. Eventually they found him in the country that it borders. Shit, I can't even. It starts with a P, right? Dang it.
I don't remember.
I can't think of what it's called.
Pakistan,
right? That's where he was?
I think so.
I think that's what it was. anyways, but like once he was killed, we were still over there. And we're
Right.
still over there,
Still over
technically.
there.
So I mean, I don't know.
That's crazy. Crazy times.
Yeah. So that was a tragic day. So this is more about just remembering. I mean, we don't have a cake, right?
No.
I just don't think we should.
I don't think we have a cake. I think, again, this is one of those holidays this month that you know, maybe you watch United
something.
93 or watch them.
World
There's
Trade
tons
Center.
of World Trade Center. There's tons of documentaries.
World Trade
too.
Center is okay. I think you watch
I don't think I saw
993.
that, actually. Watch United 93. That one was really
That
good.
one's really good, but you're gonna cry. And then watch Zero Dark 30 if you want to find out what happened to Osama bin Laden,
Yeah.
because we got that mother.
Go to motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I guess that's good. Yeah, just watch something like that.
No
Look
cake.
it up. No cake.
That's okay.
All right.
Can't always
Well,
be cake.
That's it for 9/11. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
This has been a Seven Lamb production.